Hello, and even amidst the bad news that we've been going down, 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 we've got to look at some bull signals that are coming. Now, I believe it's 50-50 or 40-60 that whether or not we have a big bull run or not, especially with the altcoins. I think we can absorb this particular hit from the new Trump tariff announcement, but we probably can't absorb too many more. And with Trump in office, he's very volatile, so we can't guarantee that something else crazy is not going to happen. But if you actually look at some of the signals, Bitcoin's RSI is pretty much equal to April's RSI, and April is where we had a bottom and where we rebounded. And there's ominous signs that it's kind of the same thing, because April's drop was also caused by, you guessed it, a Trump tariff announcement. And this time it was so as well. But this time we weren't quite as hype as we were back in February. We had a dramatic drop, and the maximum was higher, so we should bounce back faster. And with the RSI being so low right now, I do think that we are bracing for a bounce. The second thing is we just went down like way too suddenly, and you saw us bounce back from the low and stay above that low area. I think that we went to like something like 102,000 and then bounced back, and we've been in that upper 107, 109 area, even going up into 111, 113 sometimes. So we've had a bit of a bounce back. It seems like there is some buying pressure, and it does not seem like at the moment we're going to go lower. As you can see this weekend so far, we've actually settled in that same area, and hopefully we'll end the week solidly above 100,000. Where we actually do need to be careful, though, is if we fall below the last lower low. I would consider this being the last lower low at around $100,900. So if we can end above 101,000, I still think we're okay. We're about 6,000 above that. Obviously, if we dip below like 100,000 and we end the week below 100,000, we could definitely be in trouble. And of course, the last true lower low, if you look at this 1 year graph, was actually around 76,000. If we go below that, we are definitely in trouble, but we are very, very far away from that. And RSI right now is low, which signals that we could actually be on a rebound, which is exactly what we want. Also, Jerome Powell, if you didn't know, did signal that he was going to lower rates again, and that obviously is going to help the overall market. The next FOMC meeting, for those of you that don't know, is happening October 28th through 29th. And we're looking at a 25 basis point cut. Again, now, some of you are thinking like we need 50, but I think Jerome Powell is going to stick to 25, mainly because he has no new data to work with. The Fed is very much data driven, and since he doesn't have enough data to work with, he's just going to go forward with a plan of 25 basis point cut. Now, immediately, I think the market's already priced this in. It may not help prices all that much, but every time the rate is cut, it makes certain investments like crypto look more lucrative because that yield is going to come down. Recently, the yield just dropped below 4 for the first time in several months. And with another cut, it could drop below 3.75 overall in the 10-year yield. And that's going to make crypto look more lucrative to low yield investments like bonds. Like bonds. And also it's going to make borrowing money cheaper, which means both institutions and individuals should be able to borrow more money off the top, which will help crypto. Obviously, there's also the semi-banking crisis with the regional banks. And if the Fed does choose to inject liquidity into the environment, well, crypto is one of those assets that reacts very well to injected liquidity. So we should definitely go up. And that's another bull signal. So overall, it's pretty good. And right now, remember, the government's still shut down. Now, Trump has kind of signaled that it could remain shut down until January, and that would be pretty bad. But I don't think it's really going to stay shut down until January. I think his own party would generally revolt if he actually tried to pull that off, because there's a lot of Republican congressmen with constituents that are already kind of like nagging them to actually open the government back up. And also they want to extend the healthcare credits as well. So they're already in a lot of pressure. The Democrats also have their constituents pressuring them to open the government back up. So I think the pressure is going to come to a head in a few weeks, and we're going to open back up. Remember, the last record government shutdown also happened under his administration. It was 35 days. Hopefully this one is not 35 days, although I don't quite see a way out right now. So that's kind of like where we're at the government shutdown. But once it actually opens back up, we should go up, as the entire market should actually go up. Because, especially for crypto, we have the ETFs. Now, someone told me that, and I checked, there was like another Solana ETF that was approved. The SEC does not seem to have approved any other ETFs except for those. I'm not really sure why, but the SEC has not really approved any other ETFs. I think there's only the Solana spot ETF that was approved. And there was also another one with like Rex Osprey a couple of months back. So if they actually approve these ETFs during the shutdown, I think that will give crypto a little boost. But once we open back up, they should do it a lot faster. A lot of those ETFs should actually come through. And with that, people should actually be able to pick up some alts instead of just buying spot on the exchange. And I think that will help certain alts, especially those L1s with big ecosystems and that are with growing DeFi. So we have that to actually look forward to. We still have like the Genius and the Clarity Act, especially. I don't think that's going to pump the value of coins any, but that does pave the way for crypto adoption later, which could actually instill some FOMO. Also, there are still a lot of funds that are actually being created on a daily basis that either are investing in Bitcoin or Ethereum or another asset. It's mainly Bitcoin and Ethereum. And there was another $1 billion fund that was going to be dedicated to Ethereum. There's also the fact that some people, not me specifically, believe that money from gold and silver will eventually flow into cryptos because gold and silver have reached a local top. I don't actually believe that because I do believe gold and silver runs counter to economic sentiment, and I think economic sentiment right now is pretty darn horrible. So I do not actually buy the thought process that gold and silver have reached a local top and they're going to melt into Bitcoin. But there are definitely economists saying that people have pumped up gold and silver, and now it's going to go for more volatile assets, especially as the interest rate comes down. The interest rate might actually be the kicker, but I think gold and silver really just kind of depend on how the overall economy does. And the overall economy is pretty crappy right now, according to public sentiment. The organization that raised $1 billion as part of the Other Trust strategy is Hbar, and a lot of people are also looking at $5,000 of Ethereum as kind of a trigger point for the bull market. And this $1 billion fund of the Other Trust strategy by Hbar, which is, let me remind you, a Justin Sun organization, could possibly pump the coin up. So Lee Lin, the founder of cryptocurrency exchange Hbar and chair of investment company Amir Capital, has reported. Sorry, Hbar isn't a Justin Sun's thing. That was another exchange I was thinking of. Has reportedly raised about $1 billion as part of a strategy to invest in Ether. According to Bloomberg report on Friday, Lee has partnered with Finbushi Capital co-founder Shin Bo, Hashkey Group CEO Xiao Feng, and Moito founder Cai Wencheng to launch Ether accumulation strategy through a NASDAQ-listed shell company. The project raised $1 billion, which included $500 million from Hansheng Capital Group and $200 million for Avenir. So they're looking to buy a lot of Ethereum. Obviously, as Ethereum boosts, it's going to affect the rest of the alts. It's going to affect ERC20 first, obviously, but then the ERC20 ecosystem will affect the rest of the alts. So that is another positive factor that could really factor into our bull run. So it's not actually time to give up on the bull run yet. We did actually get the Bitcoin maximum in November in 2021 and in December in 2017. So we are still technically 1 or 2 months away. So it's not like the bull run is over. It needs to hurry up, but it's not like it's over. And the last thing we need to look to is Trump's Fed guy is actually going to come in next year. And why is that important? Because he's going to slash those rates like crazy. We're talking about 100-point cuts basically all at once. And that is something that Jerome Powell will just not do because it's not really good sound policy. But Trump probably wants to inject liquidity. He's also talking about essentially printing money, giving stimuluses. and that will definitely rock the crypto world in a positive way. So we could actually be waiting until like next year in the summer before we get a true run. And I think Bitcoin and crypto will just float until then. So don't give up on that bull run yet. There's a lot of factors coming, including like technical factors like RSI, Trump saying that he'll give us a stimulus, the other treasury bond, other treasury fund, the ETFs, and also rate cuts by Jerome Powell all coming up. So let's all look forward to that and look at all these bullish factors, and don't quite give up on the bull run yet. If I were you, I would probably just buy BTC right now and see where that goes. And if you see like the market turning up, I would buy the alts or maybe just buy BNB. But otherwise, like, I wouldn't sell out yet. So that's the news for today. Let me know what you think. Like and subscribe. Hit that bell notifications button. Thank you and have a good day.